Hey everyone. So reviewing my videos that I posted recently, and I didn't like the quality of the video, and I also saw that I needed to change some information that I spoke in those videos because I don't want any retaliation going on forth with anyone. So, at the beginning, I am now going to say this up front. These videos that I make of me talking about my experiences with the company of Wells Fargo is just my experience, no one else's, and no one else is involved in me giving me ideas to make these videos. It's just my personal decision that I wanted to put my truth out there of the experience that I went through while working for the company, and also any advice that I give is just my opinion too. So that's that. Just trying to say that now. That way, it can just be set up front. So let's go back to the timeline, which is back in 2011. So basically, I'm still a college student, and I was working at Lowe's, and I wanted to do something different. Before I started working at Lowe's, I wanted to work at a bank. So I started applying at different places. I applied at Capital One, Wells Fargo. I applied at Chase, and I think it was Citibank was the 4 places that I applied for. I just wanted to get the experience of working at a particular place like that. I didn't get hired at 3 out of the 4, but I did get hired at Wells Fargo. So my first year that I was there, I was a teller. I enjoyed my position as a teller. One of the things that that I didn't even know that a teller does is that it's a sales job basically, and you're required to get sales on a quarterly basis, and you have to meet those sales. But my particular job was that I had to help out every customer in their transactions, included with deposits, withdrawals, cashing checks, sending money overseas, making payments for the credit cards, loans, mortgages, and all that stuff too. But while doing this and helping out the customers, I have to have a conversation with them that I will seek out different opportunities that I can find, that I think I can find with the customers, and offer them, different opportunities that they can have with the bank. Maybe get a chance to sit down with the personal banker, talk about it more, and having those sales closed by the banker or by me. At least getting their approval that they want to do that and that they're okay with it. Not going, that's what we had to do as a teller. And one of the big things that I was taught during the training was about the ethical values, the core values that Wells Fargo follows, and how we have to make sure that all of our sales are quality sales, and we're not cheating or anything like that to gain our sales. But some of the things that I saw was something that they taught me in the training that we're not supposed to do. That the first year where I was working at, that's what I saw, which is a term called gaming. Basically, what it is, it's gaming. It's this whole concept of if you have a customer in front of you, but you don't offer them anything at all, but you're still sending out a referral and tracking something. That way, within the time frame, which is 45 days, if that customer does decide to do, maybe a new checking account, maybe a new savings, loan, credit card, insurance products, or also like investments and private banking and all that stuff, then that teller who originally arted that person or tracked it gets to credit for it. But they have a 45-day rolling period that it counts. Now, what they teach us in training is that we're not allowed to do that at all. That all of our sales have to be very quality sales. So we actually have to have a conversation with the customers in order for us to track that sale. Because if not, then if the company sees that you are not doing quality sales, then it could be grounds for termination because you're not following the core values that Wells Fargo has placed, the objectives basically, and also it's unethical issues too. And a company does not want to be known for that either, pretty sure. But what I saw at my first year was that a lot of tellers were doing this thing called gaming. Because the sales for this particular location was outrageous from other locations in the city of Austin that I noticed overall. But one of the things that I've learned, and I want to thank my parents for, is that they taught me very good morals and ethical values that I should always follow and try to be different from the rest. And when I saw that, I wasn't very particularly happy with it. I felt like I didn't belong there at all. And so I just didn't want to do it. So I did my sales on my own, basically figuring out what worked, what didn't work. And one of the funny things is that my sales, I always did get my sales as a teller, but they weren't up to par as my fellow tellers. You know, a lot of them had 250, 300, 500, 600 sales. I was like, whoa, that's, and one of the things is that no one realizes that, and they don't kind of think and say, are these tellers really doing these sales, or what's going on here? What's the bigger picture? How is all this going on? And so I just kind of stayed away from not following what they were doing. Basically, take the road that's never taken, which is usually, the hardest way, because you're going to have bumpy roads here and there. And yeah, it was always one of the things that when we had our, meetings with the management team was that they kind of encouraged it in a way. And I never said anything, but it was just very odd that the management would encourage it. They would always either say, just sell, sell, sell. That was basically one of their big mottos. And the other thing was, I don't care what you do if you get a sale, track every person you see. Basically was usually what they were telling us. And I was like, no, I'm not just going to track every... In my head, basically, I was telling myself, I'm not just going to track every person because I didn't have a conversation with them. I don't think that's right. The other things is that I saw with the other bankers, too, was that some of these bankers weren't even building relationships with any of the customers. Like, they would tell them, oh, you need a second checking account. Oh, you need a minor savings account. Oh, you need this. Oh, you need a credit card now. Oh, you need this loan. Kind of like pushing the customer into it. And a lot of times it's like, a lot of things happen in our daily lives that the customer just kind of goes, okay, sure, why not? But they don't really think about it or sit down with anyone. And that's usually kind of what happened at this location, that a lot of these customers weren't sitting down with anyone. They were usually, most of these sales were happening at the teller window, and they would just get a yes, bam, open, and done. And some of these customers never even got like information on how to avoid the fees, how to avoid certain situations with it, learning about the interest rates or anything like that. Some actually did sit down, and one of the other things was that a lot of times that what I saw is, I'm not going to point fingers at anyone, but I saw a lot of things that were, the customers were tricked into just agreeing to it, but they never grabbed a signature. So technically they didn't agree to it. Because in order to open like any type of credit cards, loans, or checking or savings accounts, you have to have your signature on file. But some of the stuff, pretty sure it was going to be a little bit difficult for the loans, but for credit cards or checking or savings accounts, it's easily to open it without having the signature right then and there. And then later on, like, these people would come figuring out, it's like, wait, I said I was interested, but I wasn't really agreeing to opening this stuff, and all that sort of stuff. One of the funny things that I remember is that some of the bankers, and I'm not saying not everyone, but some of the bankers did, like, kind of when they were trying to offer credit cards, especially to like the people who actually had that recommendation. Hey, they have this credit card offer, give it out. They would just kind of say, hey, you have this rewards card with your mother's maiden name, you'll get it in the mail. That's it. And then the customers were like, hey, rewards card, sure, why not? They're going to think, oh, this is probably attached to my checking account or my savings account. And then knowing they get a credit card in the mail, bam, they come back really mad. It's like, no one told me this was a credit card. And so they tricked a lot of customers and not really building that relationship. So seeing all this, like I previously said, I didn't want to do that, and I didn't want to follow the lead or anything like that. I wanted to be different from everyone else. And I just didn't feel comfortable anymore. I talked to my parents a lot, and I told them, it's like, I don't feel right here. The way y'all raised me, this doesn't feel right at all. Like, what these people are doing doesn't feel right. So my dad basically just told me, just keep working. You need a job. You're going to school. It's going to help offset the cost for your bills and rent and all that stuff. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I continued. And then there's a few other situations. One particular situation that I do remember was that my teller manager at that moment, I caught him doing inappropriate things with another teller. And both these people were married. But yeah, we caught them doing inappropriate things by the vault in the back near a coin machine that counts all the coins. And I just caught them because I needed to go ask him something. And when I saw that, I was like, whoa, and I just walked away. I didn't know what to do. So I just kept going with my day. And then I just kept thinking about that. And I was like, man, this doesn't seem right at all. Like, both these people are married. This is a business. We're not supposed to bring this type of stuff into work. So the next day I talked to another manager that wasn't mine, and I explained the situation, and I told her, look, I don't want to be involved in this. I just want to say that this is what I saw. And so, yeah. A few days later passed, they kind of investigated, and turns out, yeah, it did happen. There was a witness, but there was also, the funny thing is, there is a camera that was pointing to that direction where this was going on, too. So if they needed more proof, they could see the video camera. So they decided to, let them know who said it, which is me. And one of the things that I do remember with the HR process is, if you want to be anonymous, they shouldn't have said anything at all. And one of the other things too, if a manager is doing is having a relationship with a teller and you're managing them, then that's cause for grounds of automatic termination. So and my whole, like, what I thought at that moment is like, oh, this is going to be reported to HR and this and that, and I'm not going to get involved. No, that didn't happen. Well, at least I didn't think so. I didn't realize it till later though. So then they gathered all of us in a room, and it was my manager's manager and store manager trainee. And basically they talked to all of us, and they basically said that we're not allowed to talk to anyone, we're not allowed to do this, and this, which was basically not retaliating against the person who actually spoke of the situation. And they made us sign a document about it too. What I do understand is if you do report it to HR, any documents that you sign, they give you a copy of it. Well, with this situation, we weren't given a copy of this particular paper. They just made us sign it, and that's it. So I just, I didn't really think too much about it. I just thought in my head, oh, this was reported to HR. Went on my day. Well, my relationship with my teller manager at that time, for my first year, became different after this whole incident. It wasn't the same anymore, and I just felt I didn't belong there anymore either, because I felt these negative vibes from fellow coworkers and especially management. And seeing that these people have worked together already for a very long time, some for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, so they kind of know each other and they're like friends already, and they hang out outside of work. So they kind of, to me, it's like they're kind of watching each other's back. So this is concluding part 1 of the video. I'm going to continue part 2 next, because I don't know how much timing YouTube gives me to make these videos when I upload them. Alright guys, so hopefully y'all are able to understand it, and then I'm going to start making the other one.